Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Santa's Workshop. Well, today we have got some parts in finally. We have actually got us a new brake line that actually has a built-in T on it. Found out at the local O'Reilly's, which is going to work out pretty good. We're going to mount that right there. I'm probably going to do a little bit of trimming on this bracket. I'm going to cut that off there. But first I'm going to mount that up. We're going to get those lines straightened out and reflared and bent in. Then I can take this line. This rear axle is at its lowest down right now because it's sitting on the frame, not on the axle, so it's as low as it's going to go. So I can actually work that into a bracket right in there, and that'll work out just perfect. All right, we're going to do something on that. And I finally got my fiberglass resin so I can get this worked on. Now, I took this, I sprayed it with Super Clean, I took it to the car wash and just blasted it. So all the fibers in here are good and clean. I'm going to have to get this pushed out to where it's fitting. I'm going to back it with tape, and we're going to rough it up, and we're going to put some fiberglass mat with our resin in here and let that dry. And then on the outside I'm going to sand it and do some putty, some fiberglass putty probably, and sand it down, paint it. Nobody will be able to tell it was ever cracked. So that's what we're going to do on today's video. But we're counting down the month, getting close to that 20,000. Keeps growing every day. But if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Let's see how fast we can get this thing to 20,000. Hopefully before March 31st, but if not, oh well. But on the 31st, I'm going to have a special video out, kind of going through the whole year. Be sure to check it out. It'll have some neat stuff in there. And I also want to help you remember April 9th, Cars and Coffee, Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. If you can, I would love to come see y'all out there. So, let's get to work. got my lines made up. I'm going to put the tightening on them right real quick. I won't know if I got any leaking issues until we go to bleed the brakes, of course. All right, and now I've made a bracket to hold this. What we're going to do, we're going to take this, we're going to bend it back 90. I got to find out where my bracket's going to be as soon as I get it painted. That way we can curly cue this around, and we're not going to have, this is as far down as this axle is going to go. So with this sitting here like this, it'll come up and it'll give it plenty of flex without putting it in a bind up against the bed or anything like that. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you. I made this little bracket. You can see my weld right there. I welded it up right there, ground it down smooth where you can't see it, since that's going to be on the bottom side. I'll have to touch it up a little bit, but it's going to go right here. If you notice, it's got the places for that to fit right in there. It's actually going to come through and fit right in here like this. But this line's going to bend around here like that. But I did this to show that if you take your time, you can make factory looking brackets. See, look at this one right here. I used the same factory bracket. This was a secondary hole right here, which actually has the same fitting right here. So that is going to come out really nice. So I'm going to get this flared out, back on. I want to get the mount back in it. I'm going to get this mounted in and find out where exactly in the top of the frame here I need to drill a hole to put my bolt. All right, what I'm going to do is, you can see where this is busted through right here. I took a screwdriver and pried this out where it's on a flat level. This right here is all busted in, or got a hole gone. I'm going to rough it up inside like this, all around. I'm just going to be using a carbide burr on it, so I'm not really going to be throwing any dust, so I won't really have to worry about that. But this is broken all the way through here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat all this up as best I can. Then I'm going to tape it on this side. Now I'm going to do fiberglass mat in here. And right here is where the evaporator sits. Right here is where the temp control sits. So there's really nothing for this to get in the way of. So I'm going to clean all this up, get my resin mixed, get my mat ready, and get it taped. We're going to put that on, and we're going to leave this to sit for a couple of days. Then I'm going to come back in, I'm going to peel the tape off. We're going to get a grinder, grind this smooth, and I'm going to use a fiberglass putty to do this out here so I can shape it, form it, because in here nobody's going to see. So, let's get to grinding. Okay, when it comes to fiberglass dust, you really don't want to use a blower, because if you get it again, if you got it on your skin and it goes up in, you use a blower, you're pretty much just driving it right into the pores. Usually just some glass cleaner. Alrighty, now I want to get some tape. We're going to tape those up. All right, you saw that I broke a piece off here. So what I want to do is I want to tape up across this area. We'll stick that back in there. Of course, I didn't get it exactly where it needed to go. Now, since we're going to be just laying that glass anywhere and everywhere in there, I want to close off this hole here as well. The less leakage, the better. All right. Now then, this is going to be the fun one. Remember, if this pokes out a little bit, we're going to be grinding it off. Smoothing it up from the outside. And before anybody comments, yes, I have done fiberglass work a lot. I actually rebuilt a fender on a semi-truck that had blown a tire and had wiped out every last bit of what fiberglass was on there. Went up to found another truck and I made a mold using cardboard, aluminum foil, and masking tape to get the right shape of the fender, and molded it right back onto the hood. So, looks like I got a pretty good shape right there. I'm going to go get the mat. We're going to start doing some fiberglass. All right, now fiberglass mat, cloth, either or, you definitely want to cut your pieces to the sizes you want before you mix your stuff. And once you get these soaked, now you see where it's overlapping here and here. I'm going to trim those off. Okay, we're folding right here. Get that little cut. Okay, there's my first layer. don't have to make this thick, because 2 layers of this will be all this needs. Okay, we have first layer, we have second layer. Now then, whew. Okay, first layer, second layer. All right. See if I can do this without blowing it up. Excuse me. Just talking to my neighbor just now, and oh, these sinuses. Get me some gloves on here. Okay, I got 10 to 12 working minutes with this. Find you an old paintbrush and just put it on there. I mean, just all over the place, over the tape and everything. Because what you're going to do, you're going to use this to stick down the first layer. Now there's a lot of people who'll put it in there and soak it all up, but you will see what I'm about to do after I get that first layer down. First layer. Yeah. I always mix way too much because I'd rather have too much than not enough. All right, we will let that, of course. Let that dry up, and we'll come back and check it tomorrow. Get y'all a closer look at that. You notice there's no white left. I got the fibers all soaked really good. That is double layered, which is going to be just perfect. Tap that down there a little bit more. Come on, get down there. Get down there. There we go. Come back tomorrow, peel that tape off, clean it up on the inside there a little bit, and then grind it down outside. I can put my fiberglass filler on there, or I can just mix it up and spread it on like a body putty, sand it off, paint it, boom, it's done. And you saw the brakes. I am very tickled with the way that turned out. That looks good. Going to get the driveline tomorrow. He called. It is ready. So, I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Guys, y'all are awesome. Love you. We'll see you next time. Santa's Workshop.